Fnatic's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Fnatic's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick. Fnatic's turn to pick.
Tiny.
Radiant team pick.
Ancient apparition.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us here for StarLadder Season 9 European Day 14 coverage. I am co-casterless, as you can see by, oh, Volvo, please. Thank you, Volvo. They did help us out here. Servers are back up. We were a little bit delayed coming into this game. We're about 15 minutes behind schedule, but that's A-okay. We've got Fnatic versus RX coming up for our second game of the day. A quick update on the schedule while we're on that topic. Our last game was rescheduled. We did have Cloud9 versus the Power Rangers for Game 4, but that has been rescheduled for, I believe, the 21st. So after this match here, we'll have Alliance versus Virtus Pro coming up at 19:30. And I heard a little rumor that Ol Merlini will be rolling out of bed and joining me for that game coming up. But for now, I think we need to hop into Fnatic versus RX. Let's go ahead and take a look at the group standings while this draft gets underway and see where everyone's at. Fnatic, where do you lie? You lie like a dog. 2 and 3 right now, sitting in position 11. Ooh, Fnatic actually not in a great position right now. They played 5 games and they have a negative record, so they need this one here. It's safe to say that they are the favorites coming in, but they need to make it happen, Captain. Right now, Relax, they have a substantially better record than Fnatic right now. They're sitting 4 and 2 in position 6 at the moment, and it looks like a 4-way tie for that slot. So this is kind of a big matchup, and we'll see how Fnatic fare. I think it's time that we hop into this draft, though, and let's see if I can get these overlays right. Yes, here we are. Production value. We've got Fnatic on the dire side, and we have Relax going to be on our Radiant side here for this second game today. I'm feeling pretty fresh, actually. That little break we had there gave me a little boost of energy. Got to finish up another cup of coffee, and now I am feeling fit as a fiddle, bright as a tulip, dandy as a daisy. Let's take a look at this draft. So Fnatic, they will grab their EO Tiny to get things kicked off. Not a huge surprise about that. There's kind of that one classic rule when playing against Fnatic. You might want to consider banning out the Wisp. Also interesting to see Enchantress not banned out as well. Enchantress and EO, those two no-tail heroes that he's quite potent with. Ember Spirit, Ancient Apparition, grabbed by Relax. They are kind of the hot heroes right now, the flavor of the month, if you will. We've seen quite a bit of Ember Spirit play. I imagine that will be Tame My Wild playing on Ember, taking him in the mid lane, but still a little bit hard to say. Every team has their own way they like to play Ember, the way they like to lane him, the way they like to build him, and I'm having trouble recalling exactly how RX like them some Ember Spirit, but I don't know. I am quickly becoming a more and more advocate of just ban out that Ember Spirit. Of course, he's a high skill cap hero, but Arteezy just makes it look too easy. And, oh god. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to lane this. But oh boy, there we go. Third pick Axe coming out for RX. Last time we saw RX playing Axe, it was a Dread Axe, and oh my Lanta, it was rough. It was more than rough. It was really rough. He was all over the place. I don't know if it was just that particular game or if something was going awry, but he wasn't just like making strange plays. He was just going full YOLO mode. He was just blinking into the entire opposition with no support. He started out with a poor man's shield of all items, not very synergistic with the Axe kit. You know, a double stout shield perhaps, just the casual shield, but the poor man's shield, I don't know. So I'm a little bit nervous for RX. Hopefully Dread has taken some notes on his Axe, because last we saw it, there were some things running amok. Now Fnatic will go ahead and third pick Dazzle, and it will be a fourth pick Lycan. I like this team from Fnatic. Boy, is it scary. They've got Dazzle, who you can't really go wrong with. That's a lot of sustain to put on that Tiny, and I think Fnatic will have a very aggressive mid-game. There's kind of a couple different ways you can play the Tiny Wisp combo. You can play it as a space creator, doing a lot of early ganks, basically as soon as EO hits level 6, moving around with that relocate, and trying to pick up kills all over the map as kind of a mobile death squad. Or you can play it more as have space created for you, and let Tiny be that farmer, and basically use EO like you would a Spectre ult. Tiny farms, and then Wisp brings you in to grab some experience when kills come about, and then you just taxi cab right back to where you were farming and keep on racking up that gold. So I think Fnatic will be able to do the latter, or pardon me, the former of those two, and be a little bit more aggressive, maybe create some space for this Lycan instead of the Tiny. Now Lycan's another hero that we've been talking about quite a bit recently, and well, he's the other flavor of the month right now. He has been all over the place, and one of the scary things about Lycan is not only does he carry well, he pushes well, but if you lose a fight, you know you're losing some structures. Lycan is one of the best flash pushers in the game right now, and not surprised to see him picked up, as well as Fnatic should have a pretty easy time doing Roche. Lycan on the dire side, oh boy, that means easy Roshans, and of course he'll get a medallion up. They've got a Dazzle there as well, and really all you need is that minus armor from the medallion to make Roche easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
5 seconds remaining.
Now relax, they'll go ahead and grab themselves the Morphling with their fourth pick, and this always makes me nervous. I'm a big fan of the solo mid Morphling. I think that's where he shines the most. I really don't like Morphling in tri-lanes. I'm slowly but surely coming around, guys. I know Morphling is a hot button issue right now. Merlini and I like to poo-poo on the old waveform master there. I'm not a big fan, but I think solo mid Midas, you can get away with it. Like, I think that's a pretty solid build, like the way Arteezy plays Morphling, being active with the replicates. Eternal Envy plays a pretty good Morphling as well, but I really don't like him in tri-lanes. And this is a game where he won't really be in a true tri-lane. Axe will be dedicated to the jungle, I believe. At least that's how they ran it last time. So I'm kind of curious how they're going to set up these lanes. Probably an AA Morphling in the safe lane, Ember Spirit in the mid, Axe in the jungle, and then here they're going to need to grab an off laner. Seems to be exactly what Fnatic have in mind for them as well. Clockwork was their final ban. I think that makes a lot of sense. And RX will put out a final ban onto the Nature's Prophet. Lo and behold, that's my co-caster as well. He'll be taken out. And I think that's a smart choice. A good off laner, and that would be some scary push. Lycan and Nature's Prophet on the same team. Hal synergizes so well with the Nature's Prophet because that buff goes on all those pesky little treants, so you can push towers even more quickly.
10 seconds remaining.
So, final
5
picks.
seconds remaining.
What does Fnatic want here? They will need an off laner of sorts. They will probably be looking to do duo lanes here. Tiny and Wisp in the mid would be my best guess. That's how they've been running it most commonly recently. Dazzle Lycan up there in the safe lane with kind of that roaming Dazzle, and some sort of an offlaner here. Slark could be an option, but no, they will go for Magnus. Interesting. I still think it'll be an off-lane Magnus, or it could be, well, a long lane Lycan. I shouldn't say long lane. An off-lane Lycan. A little bit tricky. Probably an off-lane Magnus. He should be just fine. So now the real question is, what do RX want to do with their final pick? A Slark wouldn't be too bad right here, to be perfectly frank. That would
10
give them a
seconds
pretty
remaining.
melee-heavy lineup, and actually now, maybe not a Slark. Maybe that's a little bit too farm-intensive
5
for him.
seconds
The reason I
remaining.
like Slark is because he can make plays happen without a lot of items. You know, early on he can
Reserve
grab some
time.
experience and then move around and start trying to pick up kills around the map.
5
They need some
seconds
space
remaining.
creators. With Ember and Morphling, no, okay, they're going to do this a little bit differently. Not they're going to off-lane here. As their final pick, I thought this was going to be a single support with Axe in the jungle, so a little bit different. Very curious to see exactly how RX to lane this. This is a very unconventional draft. It may prove successful, might work out for him. All those Morphling sympathizers keep me on my toes here in chat. Yeah. Poo-poo. I don't like Morphling, man. There is a 2-minute delay on the stream. I hate the delay when I'm solo casting. And oh god, my speaker is gonna fall off the computer. It's fun to keep tabs on chat when I'm solo casting, but it's so difficult with the delay because by the time I get to react to what y'all are saying, it's been too late. Look at Velat here, the relax. I like it. The relax. I'm really curious to see how they opt to lane this, though, with these heroes. Looks like there are still some connection issues coming about. As we get into this game, we were talking about some of the server issues, so maybe some of these players still having some ups and downs with Steam. Hopefully it doesn't impact this game too much. Let's see, who is on the Axe? It is Tame My Wild on the Axe. Interesting. So it looks like RX may do this a little bit differently. Red will be on the Witch Doctor, at least for now, though I don't want to read too far into it. They haven't bought any items yet. Everyone's DC'd, so I suppose there is a chance they could still swap some heroes around. It's not the most telling. A little bit frustrating, perhaps, but we do see teams do that more often than not. We will be stuck into another pause here for an extended period. Now AA as well as Morphling disconnected. Oh, bugger. I will say, though, I like Fnatic's draft a lot more, and I worry. Axe is one of those heroes that he needs a little bit of space. He can be very potent, he can put out a lot of damage, but he needs to get those core items up. He needs a blink, he needs some sort of a survivability item, whether it's a Vanguard, a Blade Mail, something to beef him up a little bit because he is your initiator. Morphling, a hero that also needs a lot of farm. One of the things I don't like about Morphling is how long it takes him to come online. You really need at least one core item before you can start participating, and really two before you become scary. Most Morphlings opt for that Lincoln's first, at least in this current meta, and while that's good, once you get the Lincolns, you're not particularly scary. You need another item after that, and usually it's that Ethereal Blade for a little bit of shotgun. Ember Spirit, he can put out a lot of pressure early on, but he still needs a little bit of space. I have not seen Shotchlow's Ember Spirit in a little while, and I don't remember exactly how he builds him, but you know, I don't know. I hesitate to say that because we've seen Arteezy do so much damage in the early stage of these games. It's pretty ridiculous. I really I hesitate to say that the early stage is where he's weak, but I guess it's appropriate to say where he's weakest, not where he's weak, because Ember Spirit is anything but weak right now in this current state of Dota 2. So anyhow, I think Relax are just at risk of getting run over here. Once they have the relocate online, a Lycan will be going crazy. It will be a Trixie Lycan, and they'll have initiation from the Magnus. I just worry that Relax are not going to be able to stand up to that mid-game pressure that Fnatic can put out. And again, if Relax don't have if they can't make a stand in the mid-game, once that Wisp Tiny want to start moving around, it's going to be difficult because Lycan will start knocking down those towers, and Lycan is not a hero you want to give a lot of space to. There'll be Fly playing on the Dazzle, and well, we're stuck in a long pause here, folks. Uh-oh. Remakes. All the remake jokes. Yeah, bring them on, bring them on. The missed stats. So it's appropriate, guys. It's appropriate. relax. 15 minutes till the end of the film. In case you're not following, in the lobby, Velat was making, there were like a lot of jokes about free-to-play. Fnatic was not responding to the pick or side question, and they were accused of all being tabbed out watching free-to-play. So that's basically what Velat is saying, that tactical DC to finish watching free-to-play. Yeah, it looks like Winax is having some issues here. So, well, he said his keyboard is not working. Yeah, a likely story. Like they need some batteries. Bum 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 bum. This is where we need some. This is where having a co-caster really comes in handy. Solo casting isn't too bad, but when you get stuck in these long pauses, there's only so long you can sit here and blather on to yourself about nothing, you know? I mean, we sort of have theory crafted these lanes and picks pretty well, and with this unconventional draft from RX, I'm just really curious to see how it's going to play out. There's only so much we can say. They haven't even bought any items yet. Nothing's been skilled. We are not far into this game whatsoever. Again, there will be one match coming up after this, and it will be Alliance versus Virtus Pro for our final match of the day. With Tame by Wild on Axe, assuming that they don't swap, it could be an Axe mid, and Axe is definitely a little bit underrated as a mid hero, I think. It's not insane, but it's there, and you can do it, you can get away with it. It's not one of those dumpster, like, what are you thinking, you crazy idiot? Axe is okay in the mid lane. I think he'll struggle if they end up doing the Tiny Wisp mid, but Axe, especially against a melee, I think they're hoping that it will be a Magnus mid, which it still could be. They could do this much more traditionally, or it could be Hani in a safe lane. He could be going in the off lane. It really depends on how Fnatic want to lane this as well, and it's a little bit hard to read. Fnatic are always difficult to read with their lanes because they're a team that are not afraid to do things unconventional. I mean, I've seen Wisp solo mid from Fnatic a couple times where they pick Wisp first, their draft ends up being a little bit funky, and they say, you know what, no tail, just go mid, get a little bit of farm, don't feed, get your relocate up, and it works. I mean, it's not the best thing ever, but Fnatic are not afraid to do unconventional lanes. I like this axe weapon as well. The Nightmare Blade, this thing is epic, dude. Look how big that thing is. Ridiculous. Cool helmet as well. So let's take a gander here at these lanes. Let's go ahead and introduce this roster on the dire side. We've got Team Fnatic. I'd say, safe to say, the fan favorites coming into this game. Actually, is there a D2L bet? Let me pull up Dota 2 Lounge. Usually I pawn this off on my co-caster, but doing all the work today. And there is a bet live for this game. Fnatic 76-24 relax. So obviously Fnatic are the heavy favorites here. And I think that makes sense. I think that's fair enough. Fnatic are the favorites. Hard to say how much. Relax are one of these teams, kind of like Team Dog a little bit, where they're a team, but they're not that serious. They're a group of guys that get along well. They like playing Dota. And well, they're just going to have some fun in StarLadder. Dread was one of the players that was kind of in retirement and then, quote-unquote, came out of retirement for this team. So they're serious-ish, but not quite to the same degree that Fnatic is. Anyhow, let's introduce these rosters here. We've got Trixie playing in the safe lane, Lycanthrope. He'll be supported by Fly on the Dazzle Shadow Priest. In the mid, it will be Era playing on Tiny, and he will be joined by Novetail playing on the EO. It will indeed be Magnus in the off lane, controlled by none other than Hani. On the Radiant side, you have Relax. You're doing fine, or just relax, as Velat's been calling them. Tame My Wild will be playing on Axe himself. He will go ahead and grab that illusion rune that spawns at the 0-0 mark. In the mid, it will be a dual lane Yoki playing on the Morphling, and Dread will be supporting him on the Witch Doctor. That's a pretty potent duo lane right there. We'll see how they want to build the Witch Doctor. I imagine they'll want to grab a point in Maledict here because there's a lot of aggression they can put out, and if they could grab a kill on the Tiny or the Wisp early on, that is certainly good news. Up in the top lane, it will be Win X on the Ancient Apparition, and he will be supporting Shotchlo on the Ember Spirit in the off lane. So lanes rather interesting here, but 2-1-2s or 2-2-1s as it may be coming out on both sides of the coin. This bottom lane should be pretty easy for Axe. Tame by Wild, as I mentioned about Axe, He's a hero that does very well in solo roles against melee heroes, and this is kind of like a mid matchup. If you were going to put Magnus mid, exactly what RX were hoping for, and Axe just does really well against melee heroes. As you can see here, you get near the creep wave, he throws out a little bit of the right click, the creeps aggro onto you, and you get those counter helixes all over the place, and then once you zone out your opponent enough, you can start spamming Battle Hunger, and they can't get close enough to the wave to knock it off because, well, you'll just get that counter helix all up in their grill. So gonna be a rough lane for Hani, but he seems to be doing okay. 3-2 against the 8-1 Axe at an obvious disadvantage, but experience is really what's important for Magnus. Farm is great, he needs those arcanes and the blink dagger. All in all, though, experience is what he's after. He needs to get that reverse polarity to start moving around the map. Let's take a look at the mid lane here, and how is old Tiny faring? 5-2 against the 4-1 Morphling. Seems to be pretty even across the board to get things going here. Now Era's starting build. Let's see. No-Tail did grab a bottle and some tangos. Pretty straightforward. Era, he's got himself the Stout Shield. No Quelling Blade. We do see that on Tiny sometimes. He's got pretty solid base damage. If you grab the Quelling Blade, it's just so hard to last hit against him. That's one of those, it seems kind of noobish. Like, really? You need a Quelling Blade on Tiny? Idiot. But it actually makes it really hard to contest his farm because he just hits so damn hard. Up here in the top, Shotchla will have his work cut out for him. We see a Howl from Lycan do a little bit of extra harassment here. Looking at this Ember Spirit build, we've seen an array of different ones, and this will be a Searing Chain Flame Guard opener, a 1-0-1 at level 2, and even just the sight last game, we saw no bolas until like level 8, I think. It was all about the Flame Guard, Sleight of Fist, so obviously there are a lot of different takes on Ember Spirit, and I don't know that any particular one is right. It sort of depends on the matchup and the play style of each particular Ember Spirit. Lycan and Ember are farming pretty evenly. 15 last hits on the Lycan, 12 on the Ember Spirit. So both doing pretty well with the Dazzle up here supporting a nice 1-1-1 opener. It's going to be difficult to secure a kill on Trixie, and that's one of the things about Ember Spirit in the solo mid role is he can just be a bully in lane. Spam that Sleight of Fist. If you can connect with the bolas, it is hard to deal with. In the mid lane, though, we'll see Era in big trouble. A little bit of unluckiness there with those cask bounces, but they won't have the damage. Yoki may get turned around on. Dread, no Maledict quite yet. We'll go ahead and grab that Voodoo Restoration, and both sides will be able to regen up. Two very defensive supports in the mid lane will make it difficult for either Era or Yoki to secure an easy kill. Though, plenty of damage coming out on both sides. Farm still looking very even in the mid. Up in the top lane, very even as well. The only outlier is this bottom lane. Magnus 10-2 against the 15-9 Axe, kind of as we would expect. So Relax will pick up a small edge to get things going here. A little bit of gold lead, and not too much experience. And now Cask will fly, take some bounces back and forth between Era and No-Tail. Want to keep that tether in tow. Era actually taking some heavy damage here. Morphling up onto the high ground. That will be a misplay from Fnatic, and Yoki will secure that first blood bonus gold. Very unfortunate for Fnatic. It was just sort of an odd play, but uh-oh, in comes the Magnus, and they will get a counter kill onto the Morphling. Hani finds some vengeance for his fallen comrade there, and they at least make it a 1-for-1. Still, obviously, advantageous for Relax, and of all the targets to fall, Tiny is least ideal from the perspective of Fnatic. Now Morphling coming back in, doing a bit more damage to Era. That will zone him out just a little bit. I'm still a little bit confused as to exactly what Fnatic's plan was there. Obviously they were interested in the rune, but they kind of did this back and forth right here where their primary objective seemed to be don't break the tether, which I can understand, but as my good friend Reiki CPK would say, at what cost? And one of those, they either needed to commit to a kill right there, or they needed to commit to making an escape, and instead Era just kind of toggled back and forth, and ultimately it did cost him his life. And now we'll see RX take a decent gold lead, about 750 out of the gate, 1-1 here at the 5-minute mark. Axe is the big breadwinner to get things going. After we did see Hani leave the lane, Axe was able to pick up some solo farm, now sitting level 6. And what does he have online here? Boots, Stout Shield, 1600 gold in savings. He may just go for a super fast blink, which wouldn't be too bad. Sort of like a very fast blink on StarLadder. Lets you just move around and be so aggressive. We will see a rotation on the side of RX as Ancient Apparition moves towards the mid lane. We'll throw out a chilling touch in case Fnatic wanted to initiate, but they will back off here, and everyone will just go back to farming. That means Ember Spirit is left alone in the top lane. and he is not doing too well in farm. He will actually rotate into the river and actually moving towards the mid lane. So perhaps Shotchlo will try and do a bit of ganking Ember Spirit here, which is a little bit interesting. Nope, just waiting for the rune. He will luck out, grabs himself the regeneration. Tiny now really lackluster in the farm. In terms of last hits, well, he's actually falling behind by a good margin, 19 compared to the 33 of Morphling. The rotation in from the Ancient Apparition helping to zone him out, even though he has left the lane. But now Tiny, 1,600 on the net worth, Morphling up to 28, almost getting doubled by the Wave 4 Master. They need to do something. They need farm on this Tiny. Levels are important, but he really needs farm. Just nothing in the inventory right now. We do see some pings coming out onto Shotchlo. He is not level 6. No Fire Remnant to hop away. Look at that burst damage as Dazzle drops the heal onto the Wolves. This should be an easy kill. Poison Touch Dot doing some serious damage, and Fly will use it to secure the kill. So this rotation from RX will not come for free, and they will pay with the life of their Ember Spirit in the top lane as Dazzle gets a little bit more aggressive. Tiny still struggling a little bit here in the mid with these rotations. Axe will move into the jungle. So Tame My Wild just going to stack and try and up that farm a little bit. That will give Ancient Apparition some solo time in lane, but he's only level 4 up against the level 7 Magnus. So he needs to be a bit careful. There are Arcane Boots up on Hani now, so he might be able to grab a solo kill on this AA if AA is not careful. Of course, he has no wards up, doesn't know where the Axe is, so we'll be a little bit more cautious, afraid that Axe could poke over at any time. Oh, in the mid, we will see initiation onto Yoki. He will start morphing strength. He survives the burst damage from Era and No Tail, but not for long. Underestimating the damage from those Wisp Balls. Dread now in trouble. Hani comes in, finishes him off with a shockwave, and Fnatic will grab a 2-for-0 exchange in the mid. Meanwhile, up top, Fly going blow for blow with Shotchlo. A beautiful shallow grave comes out. He will survive to tell the tale. Now Shotchlo on the run. Fly needs to be a little careful here, though. Sleight of Fist coming up in 20 seconds. Okay, it has a really long cooldown at level 1, and still not quite level 6. There you go. No Tail will grab another kill. That orange comes out from our announcer, and Fnatic will add another one to the board. All of a sudden, the swing of momentum. It was a 1,000 gold lead for Relax, and now Fnatic taking the gold lead and experience, just about 2,200 experience in their favor. Great rotation from Hani coming out to move to the mid lane. That kill will boost his farm by a fair margin. Now 1,200 in savings after the Arcane Boots. He'll have a blink in no time. Before that kill broke out, I wanted to mention the Vanguard out on Axe. Not a bad item on Axe. One of few heroes that I think can get away with an early Vanguard and really profit from it. It makes his jungling time a lot easier. And Dread, he's in some trouble. He'll take big burst from Era, but Era will underestimate the amount of return damage coming from that chilling touch. They get a counter kill, and Tiny will walk away empty-handed. Wisp will be forced to relocate back into this unfortunate situation. Tame My Wild lining it up. He's got that Berserker Call ready. He'll connect. See you later, No Tail. That's a 2-for-0 the other way. And now Relax will grab some more momentum back. Shotchlo, though, it's just a non-stop bloodbath. He does have Fire Remnants up now. Trixie will burn the shapeshift. Shotchlo hops back to safety, and they will not be successful with that kill. Now, meanwhile, in the mid, Tame My Wild is cutting the lane. Era ports in. He's only level 6. Really doesn't want to tango with the Axe. There's a 3-level disparity between the two, and with that Vanguard up, won't be easy to secure a solo kill. Down bottom, Hani thought they may try and find an initiation, but alas, they will not. Shotchlo gets initiated on once again. Poison Touch doing some damage. It will not be enough to secure the kill, but still doing a good job zoning him out. Vlad's is now up on the Lycan, but it looks like a fight breaking out down in the bottom lane. Hani will skewer to the low ground, and, well, that fight will disperse. Meanwhile, in the top lane, though, Fnatic is pressuring this tower hard. Lycan using that Vlad's. Dazzle going a more defensive build than he probably needed to, but they'll grab a kill onto the Magnus. Pardon me, I did miss that one. It's been a bloodbath here, though. Only 9 kills in 10 minutes. Was a slow opener, and keyboard problems. Whoops-a-daisy. They may need another reset here. He needs to charge their batteries. And RX, about 1,000 gold lead now. It's been all over the place here in this early game. Looking at net worth, Axe and Morphling They're the big earners, but Lycan's farm is starting to snowball just a little bit. He's by far the leader on the side of Fnatic. We will resume. And No Tail, he grabs himself a double damage from that top room. Top tower will be defended. Shot flow comes in. Fire Remnant forward. Bolas come out. Lycan goes for the tower. He will finish it off. There's a relocate coming in from the Wisp now. Tame My Wild in trouble. He's tanky, but not tanky enough. Around the backside, they're looking for the shot slow. He's trying to finish off Fly, but Dazzle survives. He uses that max Shadow Wave to his advantage. Now Morphling coming in. Fly trying to find somewhere to go, but he will not survive. The relocate out just won't be enough. Yoki taking some damage from the Wolves, but they won't be able to secure the kill. Lycan backs out. That relocate to the mid, though, they do catch Ancient Apparition off guard. So Fnatic actually find the better of that exchange. A 2-for-1 across the map, and they grab the tier 1 tower kill up in the top lane. So again, another swing of momentum. This graph all over the place. RX, then Fnatic, and back and forth. Once again, we have it zeroed out in both gold and experience. Lycan grabbing that tower kill now pushes him as the leader in terms of net worth, and he should have a medallion complete before too long. Is that a medallion on the courier? Oh, it sure is.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
will
attack.
Be a possibility for Fnatic before too long here. Shotchlow is rather underfarmed, though. He is at the bottom of the pack for net worth, and he is only level 6 as well. This laning scenario just did not work out well for him. It sorted out all right, but as soon as Ancient Apparition left the lane, Fnatic put the pressure on, and that Dazzle Lycan really gave him a run for his money. The good thing about Ember is he's a hero that can do damage without a lot of items in the early game, but he still needs something. Phase Boost drums are that baseline core, and he's just so squishy right now. Flame Guard is level 4, so that will give him some survivability, but it really harbors his damage output. They do some burst damage to him. He hops to a Fire Remnant and survives with just about half hit points. Lycan Wolves will dive the tower. They scout it out, knock off the bottle charges. Tier 1 tower in the mid lane falls. They continue to zone out the Ember. Now Tame My Wild joining the party. No Blink Dagger up on him quite yet. Hani coming around the backside as well. Dread taking some heavy damage. They should have enough damage to finish him off. Wolves will continue right-clicking through that Voodoo Restoration. One last shockwave, and Hani secures the kill. So Fnatic furthering their momentum here. They get a tower kill and a free kill on the Witch Doctor in the mid lane. Now Tame My Wild. He's not out of the clear yet. Takes a combo from Era. And Hani comes in, skewers forward. They'll find another kill as Axe takes a spill near the mid tier 2 tower. Yoki finding some space in the bottom lane. Will start pressuring this tier 1. Won't do much damage before the glyph comes out. And now there will be a port in. Who is it? It is Hani. He's still off the mark for that Blink Dagger. Very close. We'll throw a shockwave. Yoki waveforms forward, and they will all survive. Meanwhile, in the mid, looking for another kill on the Ember Spirit. Flame Guard coming in handy as he survives the nuke from Era, and he will hop to a Fire Remnant as he scoots back to safety. 9-5 here at the 13-minute mark. Fnatic now pulling ahead by the largest margin we've seen in this game. 3,000 gold, somewhere about 1,500 experience. Finally, this Tiny grabbing some momentum, sitting level 9. He's got Power Treads and Drum of Endurance up. There's the Blink Dagger on the Magnus, who's also level 11. He's got that level 2 RP online, and he's ready to make it happen, Captain. There is a relocate towards the mid. They find Dread, and they are hungry. That will be a Witch Doctor sandwich. Yum, yum, yum. Fnatic will gobble up yet another kill here. Relocate back to the mid lane. No Tail just fine. No Tail reasonably close to his mech as well. Headdress and Buckler already online, and about 450 in savings. That will be a mechanism coming out before too long here. We will see Lycan moving into the Roche pit. Fire Remnant to safety once again. Touchlow can survive with that Flame Guard, but he just can't do any damage. The power of the Ember Spirit is your ability to be a bully, and that is just non-existent when you go this Flame Guard primary build. At least he's pulling some of the pressure off of his allies. But is it enough? I don't think enough space has been created here. Trixie, straight into the Roche pit, will take the AA ultimate, but it doesn't matter. Even though RX know what's going on, they won't be able to contest. That will be a free Roche for Fnatic here at the 14-minute mark, and the Aegis goes the way of the Lycanthrope. Trixie will now have 2 lives to play with. Axe almost level 11, but still a good ways off that Blink Dagger, only about 1,500 in saving. So even though Tame My Wild had a really good start, he's now just middle of the pack, and nothing too special. If he had a Blink, that might make things easier to relax, but at least open up a bit more aggression for him. Now Morphling. He won't be going for that Linken's first, as I was talking about the standard for Morphlings right now. It appears he will be trying to go straight for the Ethereal Blade. Ghost Scepter out first, only 1,300 or 1,200 gold. sitting in the bank. Now, one of the problems with this build is the build-up for Ethereal Blade is not much fun. He's going to need to pull into the 3K mark to get that Eagle Strong. And that is not an easy feat. Yoki will just get obliterated down bottom. Didn't even get a chance to use the Ghost Scepter. Not that it would have helped him too much. Plenty of magic damage on the side of Fnatic. They'll find a free kill on that high-value target, and they will dive this Tier 1 tower. Tame My Wild takes a Poison Touch, a Shockwave, and he's in big trouble. Those wolves doing a lot of damage. Hani blinks forward, looking for a skewer. Doesn't have it off cooldown, but doesn't need it anyhow. They make it a 2-0, and they get another tower kill that will make it 3-0 in total tower count. Fnatic continuing to pick up momentum. RX are actually in trouble here. Now Lycan and Tiny topping the net worth chart. And there is just no sign of them slowing down. Tiny now working towards that Aghanim Scepter. Point booster online. 1,400 gold in savings. And he'll have that giant branch cleaving away at his disposal before too long here. Let's get the gold graph once again. About 5,000 in the favor of Fnatic. And experience graph very comparable. Shotchlo looking to pressure this top lane a bit. Does have that Ring of Aquila up, but that's really his only core item aside from the Magic Wand and the bottle that he had very early on. Dazzle will grab himself some Arcane Boots to go that home. Looks like they may try and set something up onto Era. AA ult flies, Shotchlo turns on the Flame Dart. Will just cut the creep wave, but Era goes in. Avalanche forward, and there you go. Fire Remnant back. They'll just scoot back to safety as EO ports to the top lane. Hani now has his Blink Dagger online. Casual Vitality booster for now as well. Could be a Rod of Atos coming out for the Magnetar. Hard to say exactly what he wants to transition into. Yoki maybe in some trouble as Trixie starts to chase him down. Necronomicon will be coming out next. There's the relocate. They want this Morphling. And the medallion will be used. Waveform already been popped as well. Trixie will use the shapeshift. There's the avalanche on the mark. Another easy kill on the Morphling. It's going to be a long time coming before he grabs himself that Ethereal Blade. Up top, the relocate. Huge plays coming out from the Witch Doctor. A big ultimate as well as that paralyzing cast living up to his name. It will completely disable the Wisp and the Tiny. He is rewarded with an EO kill. Very nicely done. That is part of the bane to the relocate. You can set up things such as that. Well done by the Witch Doctor. Now Hani with an RP online, ready to show off this Blink Dagger. Wants to set something up in the mid. He sees the Ancient Apparition as well as the Axe. There is plenty of Radiant Vision here about their Ancients. And yeah, Hani won't find the opening. And he will just move back into the jungle. Down bottom, Trixie starting to pressure this bottom tier 2. Necro Book complete. Still sitting in the security deposit box, but he's got it up nonetheless. Yoki waveforms in. Straight into the face of Lycan. Will clear up the creep wave, but won't do much to repel him. We will see Hani actually around the side. Looking for a blink, perhaps. They might be able to set this up. There you go. RP forward. Wolves coming in. The skewer, the shockwave. It just isn't enough. And now Hani may get turned around on. Chilling Touch comes. Ancient Apparition ulti after the waveform will be off the mark. And now Hani can just bottle charge and scoot back to safety. RX do repel, but unfortunately can't grab a kill of their own. Meanwhile, up top, it looks like Fnatic are gearing up for a kill. Fly coming around the side. Will open with a level 2 Poison Touch. Tiny gets relocated up. See you later, Tame My Wild. He'll try and port out. Certainly won't be enough. Tiny adds another one to the board. Now 14-6. As Fnatic continue their streak of domination here in our second game of the day. 7,500 gold, just about 6,000 experience in the favor of our Dire team. That is officially the Egg Scepter complete on Tiny. He'll grab the last pieces. Courier will deliver it, and now he's going to be cleaving all over the place. Shotchlo, he's making some item progression, but still not the same way Fnatic is. You see the phase boots complete. About 1,200 gold in savings. I wonder what he's going to be picking up here. Maybe a Desolator would be the way to go. He just needs some damage. Crit wouldn't be a bad choice either. He will Fire Remnant back to safety as Tiny shows his face in the mid. Also, there is a mech up on the Wisp, which, well, makes No Tail that much more potent. Taking a look at the F5 chart here, we see Relax just hasn't progressed much. Handamitis out on Ancient Apparition. I do like the choice in most cases. a hero that does well with experience and also can make use of that farm with the Ag Scepter, but he just hasn't had a chance to really make much use of it. We will see that Vanguard still out on Axe, but they've picked him off so many times he still can't get that Blink Dagger. He's been level 11 for at least the past 5 minutes or so, and Tamai Wild has just lost all of his momentum here. If you get that early Vanguard, you're tanky and tilted, but if you can't use it to pick up any kills and further your item progression, it really just ends up being kind of a wasted slot. Yeah, it's helped buy him some time, but he's still 0-4-3, hasn't allowed him to pick up any kills, and hasn't really prevented him from death either in most of these ganks that have come out from Fnatic. It looks like Hani will have an invisibility rune on, looking for a wraparound kill down bottom, but perhaps we'll see a kill up top beforehand. The bottom tier 2 tower falls to the Wrath of Lycan. Shotchlo takes a little bit of burst damage. We'll do a short range fire remnant back, but it will be enough to secure for safety. Hani, he will miss the skewer. Relocate in. A noble effort from Fnatic. But they will not be successful. They'll have to settle for just the tier 2 tower kill. There will be a relocate back to the top lane. This could be a disaster once again. Dread on point with the Maledict. There you go. Rinse and repeat. Same story, but a different chapter. This time, Era survives. He does a fair bit of return damage. Port's coming in. No Tail will be the only one to go down so far. Dread trying to survive. Positive earn charge. Yoki taking some damage as well. Fnatic can still possibly pick up some kills. Double damage up on the Morphling does make this a little bit more scary. They're trying to pour it out. Fnatic will not pursue. They'll just be happy to clear up the creep wave. Even though Relax minimize their losses there and grab a kill on the Wisp, they still get repelled. They still can't secure a tower kill. And at the end of the day, it's just a kill on the EO, not the end of the world, and Fnatic won't lose too much sleep over it. That will translate to a kill or a Blink Dagger up on Axe, which is certainly good news. They need that progression, but ooh, Ember Spirit. He's gonna grab the Claymore, and that makes me a little nervous here. Is he gonna be trying to pick up a Battle Fury? Yeah, I'm not so sure he's gonna be able to get that Battle Fury at a time that it really makes a difference. This'll be difficult. Era does get caught inside the bolas. Avalanche off the mark, and Fnatic actually have a 5-man squad up here in the top lane, but they will back up. Morphling pressuring the tier 1 mid. Glyph comes out. Yoki will be repelled by the Glyph alone, and there will be some ports out. Trixie heads to the bottom lane, and it will be Hani rotating back towards the mid. It looks like it will be an Atos coming out for the Magnus. And Trixie, Necrobook level 2, still sitting in that security deposit box back at the base. But it will be a level 3 Necrobook before too long here. Fret not, my friends. Arcane Boots up on the level 11 Wisp. Housefly doing 1,200 in the bank, but we'll see where he goes from here. Zip Zap coming out from the Dazzle. Fire Remnant away once again, but look at that relocate. They knew exactly where it was. No Tail is on point, and they will be rewarded with a kill. There will be support inbound, though. Dread may be in some trouble. Will use the ward.
Unstoppable.
And it will be at his own demise, and then the relocate out as soon as Yogi joins the fray. Well done by Fnatic. That's the no-tail Wisp we've all come to love and enjoy. They'll grab an easy double kill and then just relocate back to safety right as things start to get a little sticky. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Ancient Apparition, we'll see you later, pal. Trixie grabs pretty much a solo kill. Honey comes in towards the end, but it was Lycan that did the bulk of the damage there. RX grabbed their first tower kill of the game at the 23-minute mark. That is the tier 1 in the mid, but the cost will be a hero kill down bottom and their tier 2 in the top lane, so still a great exchange in favor of Fnatic. Now, 10,000 gold, 7,500 experience going their way. Following that tower kill, Morphling will grab his Ethereal Blade, his first big item this match. The question is, will it be enough, though? Axe hops in. No Tail actually in a little bit of trouble. Shallow Grave comes out, maybe a bit premature, but it won't be enough to save Axe. He'll die to the wrath of Tiny as he gets avalanched and tossed. Okay, ult off the mark. Nice spread from Fnatic. Shotchlo poking forward, wants to finish off No Tail.
Radiant's bottom
This doesn't have any damage, though. Meanwhile, some space created. Lycan in the bottom lane. He's made quick work of that tier 3 tower. He's now got that level 3 Necrobook. The tower's gone down. No Glyph available. That's melee rats. Wow, RX, they'll commit a bit too hard up into the top lane. It'll cost them hard. In comes the RP from Hani, though. Ember Spirit and Ancient Apparition get completely cleaned up. Yoki's Ethereal Blade just too little, too late. He won't even get to use the shotgun. GG, well played. RX will fall after only 24 minutes of gameplay. Fnatic take a very convincing win. Add another one to the win rate of the no-tail Wisp as they make it happen, Captain. So there you have it. Fnatic looking good. The odds were in their favor, and they were correct, ending 4-0 in